Hello and welcome to episode 29. Last week we added a calendar component to our views, and this week we are going to stay away from JavaScript and stick to ClojureLand, where we are going to add a open API spec for an endpoint so that we can fetch all of the holidays for our users and then pass them to the calendar component. So, if we run what we have, actually, Johanna is driving today. This is Johanna's screen, so I will let her take over the commentating.
Yeah, I was trying to catch up to show what we had in the way of a calendar, which is what you were talking about. What we want to do today is we want to get people's holidays, populated in the calendar. Through and see them. And Alex has been working on this beautiful modal that's not finished to do that. Cool, so I will move this to a different. So the first thing we need to do is work out if we have any holidays to work with. And to do that, I can go directly into the site REPL and I can ask it if it has any holidays. Lots of holidays. So we need to get crux query into our open API so that we can, I don't want to open that, so that we can get all of these holidays out. So what I can do is get this one and then run entity on that. So yeah, we can see the shape of the data here. Let's run ahead to our open API. So let's rip off users and start to make something that we think will work. So this is the magic bit of crux here. And what I can do in my site REPL that I have is, let's copy that so it's nice. Just here, I can run a query and I can paste that and see if it's going to work. Oh, look.
Wow!
Wow, work. So this is quite useful when you haven't got one pre-made. You can play around before you have to publish the open API, so we know it works.
That's
I'm not too surprised because it worked. But now we have this. I want to be able to access it, so we need to publish it. Let me move my browser back over so you can see. And that too.
I just realised that the cameras have been overlaying on some of the important stuff, but whatever, it's fine. No.
Okay, that's no problem. So we can see our Swagger here. And this is the one of before my updates. You can see the users. We've still got our users endpoint. We've got everything related to card, which they don't have tags, so they get dumped in the default. I've got a schema there too. But let's update this. So then I can run site bin site, and it puts it into HomeJack site, put API for card, and then here's the path to my open API.
So N is the name of the app, I guess, that we're putting this API into.
Yeah, the app module to card.
Yep.
And we're gonna. Oh, what we should do actually before we do this, let's change the version so it's easier to see. Because we go updated version, and now we'll see how much caching we have in the browser.
Wow.
Oh,
Amazing.
that's pretty easy though, isn't it?
Certainly easier than deploying a jar.
Yeah. So we can see holidays. Can we try it out? There's all our users.
Great.
And their holidays. Cool. So now let's get them into our calendar. Let's move this away again. So I guess the first thing we need to do is add an event that brings them all in. I think we have all our events in events. Is my text clear enough for you?
I think so.
Okay. So we have an initialize, and in that initialize we get self. Where do we get users, Alex? Do we want to be bringing this in at the same time as getting users?
I say we should be bringing this in when the people thing is mounted. So at the same time as bringing in the users. Yeah.
Do we know what we've got received people?
I guess you can do a search for /users.
Yeah. Get people.
Yeah.
And let's do a graph for get people. And that's in navigation.
Yeah. So that means when we navigate to the people route, it dispatches that. You don't need dispatch n because this is an FX.
Oh, I'm not familiar with FXs.
It's
How does that?
basically the same as dispatch n, but everything is dispatch n. So FX, you get a vector of dispatches. So if you have one, you just put one, and if you have more than one, then you just put another one in the vector.
Cool. So get holidays.
Yeah.
Fine. We've got get people. I think we can probably just rip that off quite happily to do. And that.
Yeah.
Is there any logic to where things are going here? Are all the received stuffs yet? It seems to be all down here. So let's rip this one up.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do you not have a keyboard shortcut for doing that?
I haven't. When I need to thread first and unthread first stuff if it's too big.
Wait, you do it.
I just run
you thread
MetaX
manually.
and type in the whole word. But I figured that one was quite a small one to.
No, that's gonna cost you hours. You're gonna lose hours of life if you do that manually. That's.
Shout out to Tom DL who would not approve your pull request with the comment unnecessary thread first. Receive holidays. I think I've used holidays plural as those holidays.
Wait.
Okay.
Now, I think we should be making this stuff go on to each person because this is a list of all holidays, right? For every person that we have access to. And the received people is a list of all the people. So really, instead of having like holidays and people be separate, we probably want to join them up at some point so that when we are on a person's profile and we click calendar, we see their holidays. So it seems to make sense to join them up here. So we can do an associate in to people, and then we can get their ID. We can do associate in people, and then the jux.pass.alpha/user thing from the holiday to get the ID of the user. How are the people structured? So are they a list of maps or?
So I'm not sure.
If you got
no. These aren't important anymore. Let me get rid of these and bring my browser next door. I need to remember which windows. That would be more helpful, wouldn't it? Try. Yeah, it would be nice. We probably.
Okay, so we have a list of maps, and then each map has username Slack user. So this username, if we go run holidays again, just to see what we have there. Okay.
We have JuxPass Alpha user.
Yeah, so I guess we can either extract this username, or we can just compare the JuxPass Alpha user key, because if you go back to users, then we see that JuxPass Alpha username, but not JuxPass Alpha user. So on the Slack map, we have a JuxPass Alpha user.
I think we could group by the user here, because the holidays is not a nice data structure.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's a collection of a single collection of a map.
Is that because of the query in any way?
It may well be.
Let's check the Open API. Okay, so we're doing pull holiday, where holiday is a holiday. I guess that makes sense because Crux query will return a list of all the documents that match. I think we leave it like that, and we just do a little bit of processing when we put it in to get rid of those excess vectors. Sure. It's not going to be difficult to change it if we change our minds later.
Let's get it working. Let's see if I can get this in. Let's add a helpful.
Instead of js/console.log, you can do prn, and it won't print a horrible thing.
Yeah, I have in my other work setup, I've set Chrome up and it will print keys and maps nicely. And I did it so long ago, I can't remember what I did to make it.
Yeah, I don't think you can do it in Firefox because it requires the closure script DevTools thing.
Cool. Anyway, we have that, so we should have our response available to us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not connected to my record.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
You don't have a keyboard shortcut for this?
Oh, I think it tells me that there should be a keyboard shortcut, but Cider Connect just so isn't something I regularly do. I need to find that.
In Spacemax, it autofills it. Just saying. Hashtag not an ad.
This yeah, video is sponsored by 44573.
Catchy. Oh, you did it the wrong way around.
I got so cancel.
Control G? Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it was
44573.
good memory, and it is. And we're there.
Wow, that was.
And then it says, "Oh look, C." Oh, it's gone. It can be done with Control C, Meta Control, or no, Meta
C.
C.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Where were we? Events. What's this? Received holidays.
Now we should be able to evaluate us.
Boom.
Wow.
Our response. So we've got the body of the response.
Yeah.
Yes, what are we letting?
So let's do holidays to body response. Or raw holidays, maybe.
Raw holidays.
Yeah.
Could we apply concat?
Flatten, I guess, is the same as that. And then, yeah, let's group by the jux.parse.alpha/user.
Boom.
Yeah, that looks great.
So that can be our holidays. Should we, do you feel there's any point in having raw holidays at this point?
Nah, don't mind. It doesn't really matter either way. I wouldn't change it. It doesn't seem worth changing. Alright, that looks good.
Cool.
So now...
What's wrong?
Raw holidays instead of day.
Cool. Now we need to feed that into our people processing, right?
Yeah, so we need a subscription first. So we've got people and then... Okay.
And then can we feed that into here?
Yep. It's underneath it. It's underneath it. It's underneath the name. There's an example in current user profile here.
Yeah.
You're doing it above the name.
That's what you were trying to tell me. Sorry. I was like, what are you saying? Yeah, I can see that it's done underneath it. Yeah. No, I was just typing it in draft above. Oh, okay.
That's fine, I think, because we can do... Yeah, but we can do one for people, like this.
Okay.
And then one for holidays.
Okay. Okay, so we need to change people to processed people or something, right?
No, do people and then raw people. But because we're not going to... Yeah. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the best convention is for reframe for doing this, but I think this is what they want you to do. They don't want you to have db whatever and then db whatever and then they want you to pass it around like this.
I think so. I think I've had recently been trying to find the best way to do this. I toyed with the idea of just requiring AppD.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of boilerplate in doing it this way, it feels like sometimes. And I've seen some people do a subscription called get thing that takes a parameter, which is a list of keys. and it just seems to defeat the point a bit, but sure.
Remind me, is this like this now? Oh, thanks for reminding me about your pencils over the top. It is like this. I just feels better.
Yeah.
And then that should work. So we shouldn't have broken anything now. Good. Just checking.
Don't think you need to refresh it, but yeah. There we go.
Just to make sure. Right, so people, map, process, DB, user, where's that? Here.
Yeah, so that gets the user into the format that we need to render it, and then we can associate holidays after the map. I don't think it matters if it's before or after the sort.
Just thinking, because people looks like, what does it look like? It's got an ID.
Yeah, username is just the 3-letter code. So yeah, if we do the ID instead of let's add another key to this processed map then, called juxt.parse.alpha/username.
Yes, it was the same, wasn't it? So can I just copy from here? And that was here.
Without
That's still fine.
Without the keyword. No.
Thank you. And that, let's go back to the big reveal. It's going to work.
Yeah.
Some witchcraft around the ID.
That's fine. I don't know about that naming, but
I know, me neither. But at this point, I just would like it to work.
Yeah, sure.
Keen on this either. Cool. What now, Alex?
Okay, so now let's go to our people.jsx. TSX, and I see you've got 0.
I haven't got anything for it. I'm sorry.
That's fine. And then
I got disheartened by VS Code because it wouldn't let me have Copilot, and then it asked me to sign in GitHub, and it asked me how often I use VS Code, and so now I'm in a wait list for that. And
yeah,
it's frustrated with the key bindings. So
sure, if you do curly brackets, because this is JSX, so we need curly brackets to do any JavaScript, and then console.log, and what's it called? User profile? No, it needs to be in brackets, regular brackets, with no space. A profile. It's called profile. It's called profile.
Just user.profile.
No, just profile. You can see it here. So just profile. And we'll just do that, and then we'll see. So, do we have holidays? We have 18 holidays.
Oh.
And then
I've been going. Yeah.
Scroll down. Yeah. Holidays.
Holidays.
How much time do we have? 20 minutes or so. Let's see what we can do. I don't want to add much in the JavaScript because I've changed lots of stuff and we'll get conflicts. So maybe we can do a set holiday endpoint, or at least make a start on it. So a reframe. Because you
don't want to change much of it.
Yeah, but just because we'll get conflicts, and also you don't have any setup for working with JavaScript, and it's going to be painful.
Okay.
If we make a dispatch, submit, create event or whatever, and then it takes a map that looks like a holiday with a start date, end date, and then we just post it into Crux.
Cool. So where should we start with this?
I'd say
an event.
Yeah, let's make an event.
How are we keeping these? Are we keeping these? There's a lot of card related things in here too.
It's all card as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. This is card too, but let's keep it RTB. And what are we doing when we're adding a holiday? But are you putting this in reframe?
So when this form or whatever it's going to look like comes up, and you click save, we're going to pass down to the JavaScript component a callback, which will be our add holiday, and then whatever arguments that we pass it in JavaScript land. And in JavaScript land, we will pass it the argument of the form. So we can name our inputs whatever we want. So we could have start date, end date. Yeah, no, we can't have dashes because it's going to be coming from JavaScript. Yeah.
Happier?
Yeah. Description. I think that's it.
I wonder if, so yeah, this is just add holidays, but thinking for the future, I wonder if, and maybe this is work to do in the future, we'd also have a type, and it would be something like add event, and you could add your time, your working time in the same calendar.
So we could do that. I think the difference is, I think there might be some differences though. I don't think there would be a lot of similarities, so I don't think we'd be saving much by doing this, because they'd be posted to different URLs. The timesheet one might have like its own transformations that need applying to it. I'd say keep it like this for now, and then if we end up writing the timesheet one and it looks identical, then we can abstract it then. But,
exactly, cool. Rather than trying to keep them the same. And we're doing some kind of put, are we?
Yep, this is not where I know what I'm doing. So
let's have a look at what's been put before. We've got a put entity.
Yeah, we'll probably want to do something like that. So they have put entity where you've got a crux ID.
Where do they define the put entity?
Search put dash entity. I think it was line 235.
I think you're right. There it is. Put entity. What does it do?
Just takes a body and puts it. So all we want to do is make our body in a way that it will be accepted by site. So it will need a crux.db/id and a type and all that stuff. So let's go back to our holidays thing.
Put entity.
Yeah.
That needs to be in so many squares. And then
Holiday.
we could just do this. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the let we need to make holiday an actual holiday. Just call it holiday.
Yeah. And I think
I think we just do a map.
Make our own one.
Yeah. And then description will be description. So I think okay, yeah, I guess the user and the type.
And we can get the user. So we do need to add something around if you're looking at someone else's calendar, you can't add a holiday.
Maybe. Yeah, but that will be a JavaScript thing, so we'll ignore that.
We can get the username juxpass alpha user. So that's the that we have that on the person now,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily because. Are you thinking of passing it in with a holiday, or do we just get it from
we'll get it from the DB.
And now I will use my 10x.
Yeah, user info ID. That's it.
Yeah, and just assume that's right.
To test it, we can write under here or wherever rf dispatch.
Put holiday. Give it. Are they actually going to be keywords, or are they going to come as strings?
They'll come as keywords probably.
Let's take a holiday in a bit. Are you going to add validation to your form?
Yes.
What kind of validation are you going to add?
Form validation.
Cool.
Did it work?
Not
no.
Bad.
404. Putting it to people. Why are we putting it into people? Do we need does put entity need a URL?
Where was it? Line. Do you remember?
235. Yeah, because we've added more stuff. It's here. URL is ID.
Oh, we didn't add a crux ID, did we? So ID is that.
Yeah.
Put holiday. Do we want to make something like this, or does it matter? We can just.
No, we can make that. It's just home.site/time/holiday/some new UUID because we're creating a new one.
Yeah.
So Clojure script has a built-in create UUID function that we can use called random UUID. Yep, good memory.
No, sorry, I just jumped into the future when you told me.
Okay, yeah, that's fine, right? Now it will 100% work.
Wait, I want to do something so that I can have a little dig into the DB and see if it's added. So I want to.
We can just open the terminal and do insight and then run that.
But it'd be nice to know what ID we've put it under.
We could see it in the network inspector. It would show the put request and then.
You're completely right. Okay. How long have we got left? 2 minutes. We can do this in 2 minutes. Different.
No response data. What's the thingy?
What's the thingy?
Make that thing smaller.
Make this thing smaller.
NS error. What's this? DOM bad URI. Oh, because question mark. Here is the put. That looks fine to me. Weird. Can we see another put thing? Just an example. Put users or put user or card, put card, whatever it's called.
New paragraph.
Okay, what's new child ID? Let's do this instead of what we were doing.
Oh, okay.
Probably we should have that be a utility function, but given the time, let's just try with that.
Site origin. Cool.
Yeah, but I think probably the problem is that it's we need like card/cards. Is that defined in the Open API document?
I think probably. And we need to put here.
Yeah, so where's cards/cards? Not there.
Yeah, that's a
Somewhere else.
It would just be /card. Wouldn't it? Put card/cards. That's got an ID. And that did have an ID, didn't it?
Yeah, so it will be something like that. We'll need this. We can move it to next time.
Yeah. Cool, let's fix this either next time or before then if we need stuff to do.
Yes.
But I think we know where we're heading. So what we need to do in summary, just to explain it rather than try and find out what we're doing. This needs to be, did I copy that? This needs to be something along these lines, and it needs to be card/holidays, a random unit ID, and then we need to make a put endpoint for that. So we can just add a to-do put holidays.
Cool. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. And that's the end of this episode. See you next time.
See you next time.